Can you imagine Enola Holmes as a Gen Z girl with modern fashion choices? Can you picture Lord Tewkbury wearing something other than a formal vest and tie? How cool would it be if the cast of Enola Holmes lived life in the 21st century rather than the Victorian era? Here's what Enola and Tewksbury are supposed to look like. Enola Holmes. In the Victorian era, a teenage girl like Enola Holmes would most likely be seen wearing a dress with zouave jackets, a dress with a built-in corset, and maybe even a bonnet if the weather called for one. This was back between June 20th, 1837 and January 22nd, 1901, after all. If Enola Holmes was a Gen Z girl, totally obsessed with TikTok and Snapchat, living in this modern day time instead, she would not be wearing tops with buttons like this, or dresses with corsets built in to create the sensation of suffocation like this one. And what about this hairstyle? It seems way too uptight. The stories of Sherlock Holmes and now his younger sister Enola took place during the Victorian era. But with how stuffy and boring they used to dress back then, it might have been a better idea for filmmakers to tell Enola's story in a manner that is more relevant to the times of today, especially revolving around the fashion. In 2020, Gen Z version of Enola Holmes would rock jean jackets, cute patterns and prints, high-top sneakers, trendy sunglasses, and jewelry with the right amount of flair. As far as hairstyles go, Enola in 2020 might want to wear double buns on top of her head with a few strands of hair framing her face. She might also want to wear her hair in the slicked-back high ponytail look, which reminds us of a runway model, or even better, Ariana Grande. On a more relaxed and chill day, she might wear her hair down. A short haircut that stops around the chin line with a lot of blonde highlights gives her a nice beachy vibe and easily reminds just about anyone of the typical Gen Z girl. It's a look we love to see. When it comes to going out for a night on the town after a day of hardcore investigation, Enola in 2020 would very likely be spotted out and about in a jaw-dropping animal print dress. Now let's talk about her makeup. Enola in the Victorian era barely wore any makeup, if she even wore any makeup at all. The Gen Z version would take the time to spruce up her look, just in time for scoping out clues like her older brother Sherlock. Picture Enola Holmes with shimmering blue eye makeup, making her eyes totally pop. Pink makeup would look even better though, because it gives off that playful vibe. Or what about a more natural look without any bright colors at all? Enola in 2020 could easily pull off a simple lipstick color paired with winged eyeliner. After all, look at all the other influencers out there and how into makeup they are. We're looking at you, Charli D'Amelio. Girls these days collect fashion inspo from a variety of places, but the biggest place ever comes from celebs who have such an enormous influence on the masses. Cosmetic mogul Kylie Jenner is a prime example of what it means to be a fashion influencer and style icon. Her trendy outfits are always on point, and when it comes to keeping up with what looks good, she never misses a beat. That's most likely why she has a following of almost 200 million people on Instagram. Yes, we know her daughter Stormi is absolutely adorable, but Kylie's fashion sense alone is enough to make people want to follow her lead. Another fashionable icon that we love to watch out for is obviously Rihanna. She might be a millennial who is a bit older than Kylie, but that doesn't mean she doesn't know how to dress. Her fashion choices are so impressive that she even started her own clothing line. Women who want to be a modernized and more casual spin on Victorian-style clothing these days can depend on lace, classic patterns, and the perfect accessories, like a pearl necklace, for example. Enola Holmes would definitely be taking notes from style icons like these queens if she existed in the modern world. Lord Tewkbury. The character of Lord Tewkbury, played by Louis Partridge, dresses just as plain and boring as Victorian-era Enola Holmes. Tailcoats, vests, trousers, and bow ties were basic and common staples in any male's wardrobe back then, even the teenagers. How constricting! If Tewksbury really lived in the Victorian era, he would be wearing suspenders and top hats once he grew out of his teenage years and entered into adulthood. The Gen Z version of Tewksbury would wear patterned hoodies and fashionable turtlenecks, which are indeed back in style according to multiple fashion sources and even the Chicago Tribune. They wrote, in 2020, we're seeing turtlenecks peeking out from under flannel shirts, sweaters, and coveralls. And they couldn't be more right. Guys and girls between the ages of 14 and 22 are rocking turtlenecks more often than ever. There are so many male fashion choices to branch out with, and Tewksbury, being a lord and all, would definitely be able to keep up with the trends. Lord Tewkbury wouldn't be riding around in a carriage either. He'd most likely already be driving his own Tesla. Taking Enola on a cute date to a movie theater, miniature golfing field, or amusement park would be really adorable. None of those perfect first date places existed back then, unfortunately. Instead of seeing Enola and Tewksbury looking so outdated, how cool would it be to see them in modern-day clothing that totally matches the current year we're in? Which outfit worn by either actor looked the best? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to stay awesome!